Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Her Story Circle. This is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating young woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi, my name is Cara Laban. I'm based in New York, but I've been a nomad for the last 10 years, so I live all different places. I am going to tell you the story about how I became a nomad and how that totally changed the trajectory of my entire life. I had dreams of being a waitress, actually, and like most actresses do, I became a waitress. And I lived in New York City, living the dream. And I was such a good waitress that I actually worked 9 shifts in a row one time. They asked me to come in over and over again, do opening shifts, closing shifts. And on my 10th day, that was supposed to be my day off, I had a whole day planned. I was going to go walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. I was going to get some ice cream. I had a sketch writing class in the morning. So I went to the sketch writing class, and I got a text from my manager who said, "Can you come in and close tonight? I know it's your day off, but Christina's dad had a heart attack and we really need you." And I was like, oh, God, I am such a people pleaser. So I did stand up for myself, and I said, there's really nobody else who could come in. And the other person they trusted to close was away. So I said yes. So I went home back to Queens. I pulled my dirty work shirt out of the laundry because I hadn't had time to do it yet. I took this pit stained white dirndl. I worked at a German beer hall, and I went to go back to work. I took the subway. So I was standing on the subway platform, and I remember just standing there thinking, I don't have to go to work. I actually don't have to go into work. I don't have to do anything at all. I could just jump. And then I thought, I am a people pleaser, and I will be making so many people late to wherever they are going. I can't do that to them. So I got on the train, and I Googled how to move across the world. And I found that you can move to Australia with a working holiday visa fairly easily. So I got into work that day, and I just remember I put on my dirty, stinky dirndl, and I walked up the stairs into the kitchen, and I said, "I'm moving to Australia." And everybody looked at me and was like, "Okay, good for you. Sure. I'm sure you're moving to Australia. Good luck." And then I saved up for 6 months, and I moved to Australia for not 6 months, for 2 years. And after living in Australia, I discovered I actually want to keep traveling. I want to live everywhere. I kind of always knew that I wanted to live everywhere, but I just never happened for me. And I didn't know how to figure out how to do it. But I was still a waitress in Australia. And they say wherever you go, there you are. My mom reminded me of that because she knew I was having a hard time mentally. And she's like, "You're going to go to Australia and you're probably still going to be depressed and anxious and all the things that you are here. And she was right. I was still anxious and depressed, but I also found so many different versions of myself that I never knew existed. And that wouldn't have happened if I didn't move across the world. And then from there, I wanted to keep traveling and I needed to figure out a way to work online. And I did that. And now here we are, 5.5 years after I started working online, and I'm still doing it and I'm still traveling the world. This is 9 years after going to Australia. So I just want to say that if you feel in your bones that you are not doing what you could or should or want, your time is coming. And I really, really, really believe in you.
Wow, Cara, thank you so much for sharing your story. An incredible journey you've been on. Not many people get to live their passion. So, what was the sign or the moment that shifted your direction when you knew that this is what you were supposed to do? Oh, your sound is gone, Cara. We
Is it
can't
on
hear
now?
you. Now I can hear you,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. I need to know my phone needs to be bright. um, okay. So I don't think it was a moment where I knew it was what I was supposed to do. I just knew what I was not supposed to do. And I was not supposed to be a waitress in New York anymore because I was so miserable. And sometimes all a sign is just feeling your feelings and listening to them.
So, have you ever ignored a sign and then later realized it was important? And what happened?
I think that again, it's not necessarily they're not always signs. They're internal intuitions, and you could ignore them all you want, but because they are there and they are what you want, and they are what is meant for you, whether it's a bigger meant for you by a bigger purpose or it's meant for you because it is what you want, it's just going to keep resurfacing over and over again. There's going to come a point where you can't ignore it.
I love it. Yeah, it will come and it'll keep trying to get your attention, right?
Mhm. Exactly.
So, how do you personally recognize when life is trying to guide you?
I have hit rock bottom, what some people would call it, a few um and it probably doesn't look like other people's rock bottoms, right? Because you're living the dream. I was living in New York trying to be an actress. I was living in Thailand, being a digital nomad, but I was so unhappy that again you can't ignore it. It's for me it's those moments where I'm thinking about ending it all, which is so dark, but it's the moment where I realize, oh, something's got to change, this isn't right.
Yeah, yeah, it's so true.
Hmm.
And what does intuition feel like in your body?
Sticky is the word that I would use. I am I come from like a psych background. I both in studying it and having lots of issues my whole life, going to therapy as a young kid. So I'm less on like the woo woo side of intuition, more on like the logical listening to your body. And I think there's place for both of them. I think they actually marry a lot of the time. So for me, it's when my bones and my body feel sticky, like you can't move. Um, that's how I know that I'm moving in the wrong direction. So I need to find the right direction.
I love it. Now, what is one small decision that changed the entire course of your life?
I think it is what I mentioned in the story earlier.
Mm.
It was that Google search to just see if there was an option.
But you did the Google search and then you took action, right?
I did.
not enough just to search. It's what are you going to do with the information when you find it?
Exactly.
Was there a moment where everything aligned unexpectedly?
Yes. I mentioned that I learned how to work online. I kept kind of waiting for the right moment to do it. And for me, the right moment ended up being COVID, believe it or
Mm,
not. Um,
yeah,
I was planning on waitressing, going back to waitressing, because as I mentioned, I was so miserable teaching English online.
yeah,
Maybe I didn't mention that. I was teaching English as my remote job in Thailand, and I hated it. So
right.
I found a job to go waitress in Alaska. But then COVID happened and my contract was canceled. And because my contract was canceled, I qualified for unemployment in the US, but I had been living in Australia and I shouldn't have qualified. But because I had a US contract, I qualified for unemployment. So then I used this unemployment check to sign up for a course that taught me how to work online. Uh, and I've been doing that ever since now.
That is so crazy.
Yeah.
So, how did fear show up when you were being guided towards something new?
How did fear show up when I was I mean, fear shows up every day for me. I'm an extremely anxious person. So
Mm,
every interaction is a new thing for me, every new thing. Uh, when I started working online initially, now I'm writing a book, I'm working on a startup. Each one of these things are new things I've never done before. And it always shows up the same way. And it's kind of imposter syndrome where it's like, am I qualified? Am I smart enough to figure this out? Is there somebody better than me who can do this? Did I just lie to
mm,
this person that I will be able to do this thing and I'm not able to do this thing? Really comes in like questioning my own abilities. Even though
mm.
I'm a pretty confident person, otherwise, it still comes up as questioning.
So, why do you think so many people ignore the signs in their lives?
I think it's a couple of reasons. I think people are ignoring the signs in their own life because they're scared, first of all. People
Mhm,
like to stick to the status quo, what they know, what's comfortable, and they don't know what's beyond that. They don't know what's if they leave the bad relationship, if they leave the job they don't like, what's going to happen. And it's also fear of failure. So, not just fear of what's going to happen, but it's scary to think that you could put your ideas into the world and they'll be rejected, that you
yeah,
could give your all to something and it's not going to go how you expect it to go. Yeah.
that can be quite daunting.
Hmm.
So what practices help you to slow down enough to notice direction?
I have a really hard time slowing down, if I'm being honest. That comes with anxiety and OCD like brain. So I what I always tell people is rest is productive. A lot of times we feel like we have to be productive 24/7. What am I doing? I can't just be sitting here relaxing, doing nothing. So
Yeah.
we pick up our phone and we scroll. We find every reason to do something. But
Mm,
I just let myself rest and and whatever rest means for me. So it could be napping at 3 p.m. so I wake up more refreshed so that I can actually listen to my body and mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
Women rebuild trust in themselves after years of self-doubt, do you think?
I hate this advice. I'm gonna say it anyway. It's kind of just fake it till you make it. I, in so many instances, have thought, am I the kind of person who does this, who does that? And you just do it as if you are the person who does that. And then you're like, wait, but maybe I am the kind of person who does that because I just did it. Look at that. And then you trust yourself more because you're doing it.
Yeah, it's true. It's like a muscle. The
Hmm.
more you do it, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets, the more you do it, right?
Hmm. Exactly.
So, how has following your path impacted others around you? Friends, family, watching you doing what you're doing?
Yeah, people always tell me they want to be me when they grow up. Even my mom has said that to me. uh, I think a lot of people don't do what they want to do, or they can't figure it out. They're too scared, like we discussed earlier. And people really enjoy watching me do the things that I want to do, even though I don't have the most money. I don't have all the accolades and everything. It's I've realized that people are just inspired by somebody doing whatever they want.
Love it. So, what message would you give to a woman who feels like she's too late to start over again and do something new?
You are definitely not too late, not too old, not too ADHD, not too depressed, not too whatever story you are telling yourself to do whatever it is you want to do. You might have to do a little extra work to get there. There might be a little more figuring it out to get there, but there's always a way to figure it out.
Yeah, you're right. It's the stories that we tell ourselves that trip us up most of the time.
Yeah.
I was reading a book that said we say things to ourselves we would never say to our best friend.
Yeah.
And being aware of that little voice, I think, and catching it when it's happening is halfway to getting beyond most of our fears.
Yeah. It's actually there in psychology, there's something called fundamental attribution error. This is kind of the basis of my whole book, where we will look and being late, for example, to traffic, but
Yeah.
we'll attribute it to ourselves to just I'm so disorganized. I always do this. I'm so stupid. I'm so irresponsible. I'm time blindness. I can't do this. I can't do that. But you would never talk about somebody else like that.
Mm.
So that is called fundamental attribution error. And it could take some work to stop doing that to yourself.
It does take a bit of work, but I think the work starts when you are aware and you're conscious of how you're being and you
Mm-hmm.
catch yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's being aware that trips a lot of people up.
Yeah, definitely. So actually, another thing that I will always say is self-awareness is the beginning of your journey, not the end. So a lot of people aim to be self-aware so they know why they do things the way that they are, but that is only the beginning of your journey. You have to now learn what to do with
Once you're
the way
aware.
that you are. Once you are self-aware, okay, now how do you overcome the things that are tripping you up?
Yes, yeah, that is so true. Now, if your life had a message for the world,
Mm-hmm.
what would that be?
Do whatever you want. do what you want. Get out there. Stop living a life that you think you're supposed to be living because it's what you see other people doing. You're comparing yourself. I always think it comes up all the time that I'm like, people must be judging me because I don't live the stereotypical kind of life.
Yeah.
And in fact, like I said, most people actually end up telling me, like, I'm so jealous of you. And I'm like, wow, comparing, like, oh, I don't make the same money that these people have. I'm not super successful. I don't have this big corporate job or whatever. And they're like, no, you're living everyone's dream. Yeah.
Definitely are. Traveling around the world,
Yeah.
making money online is just a passion for most people.
Mm-hmm.
So, was there ever a moment when life forced you to stop and pay attention? And what did you learn from that moment?
I think it's been every moment where I want to throw myself out my window. It's like, I laugh, but it's serious in those moments. It feels extremely dark and like trapped. Like I said, I feel like sticky or trapped in those moments, and I have to listen to whatever my body is trying to tell me, whatever my brain is trying to tell me is like, I need to be doing something different right now. And it's not always move across the world to Australia. It's not always change my entire career and work online. Sometimes it's like, you need to go to sleep a little earlier. Sometimes it's you haven't eaten a vegetable in a few days. Uh, there are so many ways that our bodies are trying to tell us we need something physical to change right now so that we
Yeah.
could feel less stuck, less. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. Now, if you could go back, let's have a little thought experiment and teleport you back to the beginning of this journey. If you can go and speak to your younger self, based on what life has taught you up until this point, and you were to go and give her 3 nuggets of wisdom about life, what would those 3 nuggets of wisdom be?
The first one would just be relax. Just relax. When I was in high school, college, I took everything so seriously. And I wish I just had a little more fun in the younger years of my life. I definitely have had fun now in my
Mm.
20s, but it took me a long time to learn to just relax. And I still have to remind myself regularly, don't take don't take things as seriously as you are. The second one would be you don't need to do what everybody else does or make the most money in the world. I loved acting and theater in high school, and then I decided to go to school for engineering because I thought that was the more responsible thing to do. I would make more money doing that. Even my mom was like, "Are you sure that's what you want to do? What about acting?" And it was the wrong thing to do. I shouldn't have done it.
Oh my
And
God.
the third would be drink more water. Everyone needs to drink more water. I'm telling everyone all the time, drink water. You'll find that you just feel better if you are hydrated. So silly. But I finished this. I have to fill up another one. But water
I
can
love it.
more issues than you realize.
Yes, when I was on my mission to lose weight, my coach, my nutrition coach, said to me, whenever you feel hungry, grab a glass of water instead. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times you think you're hungry, but you're just thirsty.
Yeah.
And it
And
transforms everything.
yeah, that applies to everything. The drinking water, one, like it will help you with your sleep, it will help you with your skin, it will help you with your mood, everything. But there's so many things in life, like I said, like listening to those moments when you want to jump out your window. What actually is happening? Do you need to sleep? Do you need to eat? Do you need something else? Like we think it's one thing, but it's actually something else.
Else, yes. Yeah. So, as a solo traveler, what are some of the invisible risks or challenges that you've noticed that most travel platforms completely ignore?
I don't think it just goes for travel. I think it goes for anybody who travels. Um,
Mhm.
but there are just like certain scams, pocketing hotspots, um, like ATM safety is not really talked about a lot, just like general safety like that. But then for women as well, uh, solo women specifically, it's not really talked about like how safe is a country for solo women because how are unmarried women, for example, perceived?
Yes.
What protections will you have? How will people speak to you or address you? Is it safe to tell people that you're solo? Stuff like that.
Yes. That is so true. Now, your platform, Travel Ready, is not just a travel platform, it's a response to a gap in the market. What frustrated you the most about traditional travel blogs that said this needs to change?
Travel blogs are lovely, written by people telling their stories, going on excursions and writing all of the nuance of the day. And it's lovely to read. It's really nice. But if I just want to know one thing, like, can I do this thing in one place? Can I use Uber in this place? I just really want to get straight to the point. It's a
Yeah.
similar problem that I have with like recipe blogs. I don't want to read all that. I just want the recipe. So like Travel Ready is just the recipe for travelers.
Ah, So that was the gap that you saw in the market and you decided to fill that.
Yes, straight to the point. That is who I am, and that is what Travel Ready is.
So if a woman listening right now feels afraid to travel alone,
Mhm.
what is the first piece of knowledge that you would give her to help her feel empowered instead of feeling vulnerable?
I would say the world is actually a lot safer than you think it is. Of course, have your guard up. Always be aware of your surroundings and all of that stuff.
Mhm.
But for the most part, people are friendly. People are going to look out for you. People are generous. And in a lot of countries, people are proud of their people. People are proud of their culture, and they want you to have the best impression of
Of
their
it. Mm.
of their country, and they're gonna invite you in. And if that's what you want, if you want to connect with people of a country, of a certain culture, you could go out and you can find that. Just be smart. That's all.
Yeah.
Don't be scared, just be smart.
So looking back at your journey, how has travel shaped you as a woman? And how is that transformation now reflected in the way that you're serving others through Travel Ready?
Hmm. As I mentioned earlier, wherever you go, there you are. But there are so many different versions of yourself waiting to
Mm,
be discovered. And through travel, I actually discovered that I'm not straight, I'm queer. I don't know how long it would have taken me to discover that without getting away from everything that I knew.
yes.
I discovered I didn't want I always knew I didn't want traditional corporate life, but I discovered I wanted to work online so that I could work anywhere. I knew that I didn't want kids of my own. It was solidified through travel that I didn't want kids of my own. I just being away from the shoulds and the
Yeah.
family and everything, you just have so much more freedom and space to learn things about yourself. There was a second part to that question, and I forgot what it was.
Yeah, so the question was, where am I? I've lost it now. Looking back, what was the transformation?
Yeah.
It's reflected in the way that you're serving others through Travel Ready.
Right. So I want people to feel empowered and ready to go travel without worrying about all of the logistics and practical stuff, because I think that consumes so much of our brain when we go to travel. I
Yeah.
know for myself, before I left for Australia, I had a spreadsheet with every single place I was staying, every bus I was taking, the times, how I was transferring to each one. And that just like consumes you when you're so anxious about that kind of stuff. So I want to empower people to, like, yes, take those precautions, do those things, but get it out of the way and go have some fun and
Yes.
just be prepared. So like that's why I have the scam alert section. I have the pickpocketing. I have the list of, is it safe for LGBTQ and women, and just what precautions to take. So again, don't be scared, be smart. And that's what I want to show with
So
travel.
let's finish our interview with one last question, which is a bit futuristic.
Sure.
If I could teleport you into the future to go and meet the 90-year-old you,
Okay.
she's sitting in a rocking chair. Maybe she's on a cruise ship somewhere, just doing her travel thing. If you could teleport and go and meet this wise woman who has led you up until this point, what will you say to her when you finally meet her?
I hope I made you proud. I
Yes.
hope you're really happy with how your life went, and that I did all of the things that you wanted to do. I hope we didn't miss a thing.
I love it. I'm pretty sure she'll be thanking you for taking her around the world, seeing this beautiful planet that we have. You're right. A lot of people live in fear of travel,
Hmm.
but they say you're never the same person when you
No.
leave your own country and you go somewhere else and learn different cultures. It totally opens up your mind.
Yes,
So
a
thank
lot of
you.
people I think I've spoken to a lot of people who go backpacking or travel for an extended amount of time, somewhere between 3 months to a year. They all say they have a really hard time returning home because they're not the same person as when they left, and they're returning to the people who are still the same as when they left.
Yes, yes. And that's a very interesting feeling. It's like people are stuck in time. I
Mm-hmm.
find that a lot every time I go back to Zimbabwe, that we can't even relate to each other anymore. I
Yeah.
can't relate to them. They can't relate to me. So, is there anything else I should have asked you and I didn't?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe. I can't think of it right now, though.
We nailed it then. Well, I've got your website at the bottom of the screen. If anybody is out there planning a trip, go onto this website and get the recipe. Like you said,
Yeah.
don't have to read all the fluff, see all the pictures. This is a place where you can really land and get the information you need to travel safely. So thank you so much for that, Cara.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to everybody who tuned in. The Her Story Circle is not just a podcast. We are a social impact movement that brings you the stories and voices of women from all over the world. We share these stories to uplift you, to inspire you, to energize you, but most importantly, to take you from where you are now to where you're trying to go. So if you are a woman who is planning a trip, here is a resource that can help you get there quick, fast, and easy. Or if you know somebody who is planning to go somewhere, please tag them on this video, share this video through your social media so we can reach more women and help them travel safely as well. I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thanks again for the interview. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story. Thank you.